Old news never seems to die when it comes to Charles Leblanc, who just recently launched a new battery of complaints against the Edmundston and the Fredericton City Police in regards to the snatch and grab Gestapo style of street arrest, which was common in the former state of Russia. The arrest took place on Queen Street near the legislature, where Leblanc is a frequent visitor, and where he unleashes the Leblanc signature style of journalism against those poor, unsuspecting MLAs who dare to venture from the safe confines of the legislative building. The strategic attack against Leblanc was executed by two Neanderthal class type of officers whose combined size outweighed Charles by 3-1. They attempted to yank him off the street and take him in for questioning about his unique online style of blogging reporting. During the course of the arrest, one of the arresting officers told Charles that they were investigating him for some post that he had placed some 2 years ago, where they alleged that Charles Leblanc posted some socially non-complimentary adjective against a couple of Fredericton's finest. Considering the time that has passed, this arrest reinforces the public opinion that there was a vendetta against Leblanc. In the first case 5 years ago, they failed to get a prosecution under 301 because of so much complaint from the legal communities and scholars. The Crown did not pursue with that charge. So now what it looks like they're trying to do is charge him with 300, which they think they may have a chance to get a prosecution from it. So there's a slight difference between the two. With 301, you can say something libelous, but if it's true, it's you can still be charged with it, and that's the reason why it was struck as being unconstitutional. So when you look at the two of them, really what they've done, they've removed the differences, and they're still trying to prosecute the same behaviors for the same offense. Now things got weird during this whole ordeal. They ended up getting a search warrant to seize all of his equipment. That was his computer, his monitor, his keyboard, his mouse, his connection cables, his modem, anything related to his computer they took. And you know what aggravated the problem even more is that they also used a form that is used to get information for child sex exploitation, to get personal information from his ISP. That's an ongoing issue. But back up to the seizure, the seizing of the equipment really was very much of an overkill. I mean, they didn't need all of that. The evidence that they wanted for Charles was already on his blog, because Charles posts his blogs in real time. As soon as he records them, they're up on his blog. Fitch, the then acting police chief, even conceded that might have been a little bit of overkill, and when it comes to warrants for search warrants, maybe the scope should be narrowed a bit, and that there's some improvement that needs to be there when it comes to seizing computer equipment or getting warrants for computer equipment.
I think that Mr. Richard raises a very interesting point, that in this day and age of computers and social media, this is something new that we need to catch up with in terms of narrowing that scope. The only analogy I could make for you is if we have a search warrant to go into a specific location to find something specific, it's very narrow on the search warrant. But in this case, we have a search warrant to seize a computer. So I think that there is room for improvement in that area to narrow those fields.
In a later interview, Bernard Richard was of the opinion that the seizure was indicative that they were trying to find something worse to pin on Leblanc.
An illegal search warrant to get into my, they look at everything. My emails with me and you, my emails with everybody, my contact.
You know, I've talked to university professors, I've talked to in the course of this review, and it was raised with me at one point. I can't remember by who that was now, but that possibly, and sure, it is a possibility that they were trying to get at your internet data in order to catch you at doing something wrong.
Yeah.
And so that this was just an excuse to get some worse stuff on you.
Yeah.
Because they have a grudge, and they don't like you, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because they didn't like him. In the report itself, Richard says that this egregious error gives credence to those who sees this as a part of the investigation, as an attempt to find something more serious to be used against Leblanc. Given the tumultuous relationship between Charles Leblanc and the Fredericton City Police, is this latest retaliatory response to Charles Leblanc's civil suit against the city and the police force for referring to him as one who sexually exploits children when they made their request to the internet service provider for his personal information? Or is this just a simple case, as the next video will show, a case of Roshambo? You decide.
Oh, I think I found one. No, I found it. Oh, I do believe I found it first. No, I did, Pip. Oh dear. Well, guess we'll have to Roshambo for it. What do you mean? Well, first I kick you in the nuts as hard as I can, then you kick me in the nuts as hard as you can, and we keep going back and forth until somebody